being obnoxious, he still does it in a polite manner with an obnoxious tone. He just adds that in there, even when he's talking to the Dursleys. That's how he's learned how to do it. He can say what he wants, but he has to sneak it in there.
That backhanded compliment that my mother-in-law...
All of them do that.
She doesn't do it to me. I've just heard her do it to other people, and she's real impressive with it. She does this fun little laugh afterwards, and I'm like, oh.
So smash all over Harry, Petunia's pudding. He's covered in it.
Real quick, I thought this was a perfect moment for one of his random magic moments where his sweater shrinks or the glass vanishes or whatever. If there was any time for his weird magic to manifest, it would have been this time and to grab the pudding.
True.
Yeah, where's that accidental magic when you need it?
Right. Vernon bursts in, and at first it seems like he can just save the night by saying that Harry is his disturbed nephew who doesn't like strangers. I do think that it is a little weird that he thinks it's better to be like, oh yeah, we have this disturbed child that lives with us, but we would rather not talk about him. We're just gonna keep him a secret up in the attic, like the fucking Hunchback of Notre Dame. And that's normal? Like, he thinks that nobody's gonna be like, you're a dick. That's a child.
Yeah. Like, how does that make anything any better than what's happening at the moment?
Right. You look like a big ol' asshole right now, either way. Harry starts to clean things up, and that's when the letter comes in from the Ministry. I also thought it was really funny that the owl lands on Mrs. Mason, who is terrified of birds, when most owls bring the letter right to the person who the letters are addressed to.
And I can't figure out, how is Harry getting blamed for Dobby's magic?
Why doesn't the Ministry know the difference? Should be very specific to who did it.
I think it's because this is a Muggle household. So any magic done in the house, they're assuming is done by Harry. I did like that the letter was... It was another just warning. Nothing really happened with the letter.
Well, and great way to out him that he can't do magic outside of school. Like, way to be. Way to just let everybody know.
I think it was also funny that Vernon opened his letter, just like he did in the last one, and he's yelling at Harry about, why didn't you tell us about not being able to do magic? Must have slipped your mind. And I would have been like, oh, must have slipped your mind that you shouldn't open other people's fucking mail. How about that?
Right.
It had my name on it.
Abracadabra, bitch.
But he can't. And now they know. He had one thing. It made me mad.
I still would use it. Fine. I won't go back, motherfucker. I'm still gonna turn you into a mushroom.
But then they'll take his wand. I'm sure there's, repercussions.
So, he is now a prisoner.
Yeah, it goes from, Class C child abuse to Class A child abuse. They lock him in their room with, bars on the window and a cat flap, and they only let him out twice a day.
That's pretty fucked up itself. Gets fed his meals through a little mail slot.
Yeah.
In the barred door with the bars on his windows. Only let out to pee.
Clearly, they've lost it. They've gone crazy.
3 days later, Harry can't see a way out. He makes a comment about how there's no point in magicking himself out if he'll just be expelled anyways for it. But as far as we know, he can't do magic without his wand any fucking way. So I don't even know why this thought is even mentioned in this chapter at all.
Yeah, we had a conversation about that before. We don't think they can do magic without the use of their wand. The magic that you can do without your wand is supposed to be super complicated. But, the Dursleys are muggles, and they don't really know the difference. If I were Harry, I'd have just said, well, I broke the rules once. Watch me break them again. That doesn't make you any safer.
Oh, taunting
the
Dursleys? Yeah, I fully would endorse that.
That's what I was saying. Go ahead. I won't go back.
Yeah, I guess if the Dursleys weren't 4 times his size, he could muscle his way past them on his way to the bathroom and be like, fuck you guys! I'ma magic my way out this bitch. So it says how Petunia brings cold soup and she stuffs it into the flat. Harry drinks half of it, but he gives Hedwig the veggies. I thought that was so sweet.
Yeah, I was curious on how this bird is still kicking at this point. They're neglecting him something serious. clearly it's not been flying. It's not out catching some mice. It needs some protein in its life, I think. It's got to be lethargic, at least.
No, you're probably right. There's child abuse, there's animal abuse, there's a lot of shit going on in this
Right.
chapter. Harry wonders what's going to happen if he doesn't show up in 4 weeks to school.
Mm-hmm.
And then he passes out on his bed.
Has these weird hallucinations.
This weird dream.
Sees himself as a animal attraction at the zoo.
Yeah, he dreams about being in a cage and starving and Dobby being like, oh, you're safe in there, Mr. Potter. You're totally safe. Dudley is rattling the cage and he's like, leave me alone. I'm just trying to sleep. And he rolls over and wakes up and Ron Weasley is outside his window.
I almost wonder if he thought he was still dreaming.
I probably would.
I think that he was dreaming about bars rattling in his dream because that's what was happening with Ron probably trying to break in to get him. Theory. He heard the rattling in his dream, but in reality it was happening.
No, I think you're absolutely right. I think that's 100% what was happening. And I think that Harry is going to have a much better Chapter 3. That's my theory.
Oh, yes.
I hope that you join us for next week when we figure out how the fuck Ron got there.
If you guys want to continue on the conversation, you can always send us an email at podcastatt@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook by searching all the things or going to @podcastatt. That also works for Instagram, and Twitter is just a little different. It's podcast_ATT. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you want to help us out, you can find us also on Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/podcastatt and make a pledge, and it will really help us out.
And you will get all sorts of extras, like early episodes, and extreme deep cuts, and gag reels, and all sorts of stuff that nobody else gets, because you're super special for helping us out. You know you want to.
We love you guys. Thanks for listening.
Have a great night.
We'll see you real soon.
Bye!